Hey guys, Inflatable Fan 103 back here with the second inflatable review for the day. And today's inflatable review is going to be very special because this is going to be on the Gemmy 2016 5-foot Minion on a pumpkin inflatable, dressed as a vampire. Now here he is all laid out. And the reason why I said this is a very special video is because this is actually one of the first ever inflatables I've ever owned. So yeah, and I haven't used this guy in a really long time, by the way, and he still is in pretty good shape actually. So yeah, here he is. And if you're wondering, why didn't you show the box like you usually do for the first part of the video? And the reason for that is I do not have the original box anymore. I just keep it in this little breakfast chocolate milk box. Excuse me. So that's kind of funny, I guess. But I keep it in there because I used to have the original box a couple of years ago, but I threw it away because it was getting really out of shape and tearing apart. So I had to replace it with that, unfortunately, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. Anyways, yeah, so here he is. He looks pretty cool. And yes, this is a 2016, so I've had this guy for what? 8 years now. I've had him for almost, well, 7.5, but almost 8. So yeah, and surprisingly, I still have him, considering how long these things last for. So yeah, he looks pretty cool, and yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and inflate this guy and get a look at it. Also, it does have a medium cheap fan, so that's pretty good. And it does, I can't remember how tight it inflates, just because I haven't used this guy in a long time. But we'll find out once it's inflated. And here's the adapter. And wait, let me get this thing screwed on. Oh, it's okay, it's good. Hello? Hello? Wait. Is it not working? Wait a minute. Wait. Or maybe that outlet doesn't work. Let's try that. Let's try this. Okay, there we go. It's working now. Good. There we go. Phew, I was afraid there for a second. I was gonna say I was afraid it didn't work. I was like, how is that even possible? I haven't even used it. There's no way it could have been broken. But yeah, that outlet didn't work, so I put it in there. Never mind. So yeah, here he comes. Oh, this guy's getting faded. Can you guys see it? Yeah, you probably can see that just because of how faded it's getting. Hold on, let me adjust him to be for a minute. Let me adjust it. Sorry about this, guys. I usually just like having inflatables adjusted the way I want them to, if you get what I mean. Oh, this is taking a long time, so. Anyway, alright, there we go. Alright, guys, here he is. He looks really cool. Jeez, I haven't used this guy in so long. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Long time no see. Oh, it actually does inflate tighter than I thought. So, yeah. There, I just felt how tight it inflates, and now I remember. It seems to inflate actually a little bit tighter than I would remember. So, yeah, here he is. This guy is so cool. I like him. So nostalgic. Also, I forgot to mention that this was sold at Walmart in 2016. And let me tell you a story about that when I got this guy. Let me tell you a really funny story. So, yeah, this story might take up a bit of time in the video, but one time when I was at Walmart with my grandmother and my sister in 2016, and I saw this guy on the top shelf, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this guy. I want him. And my grandmother said yes because she's a sweet person. So shout out to her, and because she has a YouTube account. So shout out to you. And so they had to take this guy down from the top shelf to give it to me, and it took a long time. It took almost an hour to do it for some reason. I don't even know why it took so long. It's pretty weird. But then they finally gave it to me down from the top shelf, and I received this guy, and I've had him ever since. And I've always been really happy with him. So yeah, I love this guy. Definitely worth every penny in some ways. But yes, as you can see, he is a gone Batty minion, as they call these things. He is dressed as a vampire, so yeah, let's go through the detail a little bit. So yeah, here's his classic Minion eyes. The classic Minion eyes that all the Minions have. Well, except for Bob. Bob has one eye green and one eye brown, but there's that. And there's his spiky hair on top. It actually inflates pretty good up here. Like, you can push down on it, but it still inflates pretty good. So yeah, there's the goggles. And there's his teeth. He's got vampire teeth. And there's his vampire outfit. And here's the purple. The back of this cape is purple. And here's the things for the, I don't know what they call these, the straps for the Minion goggles. And then there's his hands. He's got purple gloves. These are kind of faded. Because this is really faded. That is so faded. You guys can probably see that. But yeah, and there's he's got a little button in front of him. A little gray button. And on the back, he's got a cape. Of course, as you can see. Wait. Sorry, I had something in my toe. I had to get it out. But there's his cape. And then there's the classic pumpkin face. And the pumpkin that he's sitting on. That's pretty cool. It's got 2 tether loops, one on each side of the pumpkin. And then, yeah, he is a Chief fan, so they have those stake loops at the bottom. Actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, but one of the stake loops at the bottom is ripped. You can see the hole right there, so that's unfortunate. And I think the other side still has the one. Yeah, the other side still has it, so yeah. And another thing about this guy, he has different colored strings on each side of him. One of them's pink, one of them's white, and still black. I don't know why we did that for some reason. That's a bit weird. We probably just lost the tethers and we just had to use, you know, pink strips and white strings. So, yeah, there's that too. But yeah, he's still very useful. I'm so happy to have him, like I keep saying. He does have 2... Wait, what? What the hell? He just turned off. He just turned off for some reason. Hold on, guys. I'll get back to you once I see what the problem is. Alright, guys, I'm back. I fixed the problem. He's okay now. That was so weird. I do not know what happened. That was weird. I've never seen that happen before. Well, I have seen that before at a couple inflatables, but I don't know what happened. It turns out you just had to you have to tug the plug a little bit just to make it work. Tug the plug. That was stupid, but I don't know why he did that. But anyway, as I was saying, he has 2 LEDs in him. There's one on the back of the Minion and one on the back of the pumpkin, which that one probably doesn't work anymore. And there's the medium. Ah! It turned off again. There's the medium cheap fan, as I said. God, I don't know what is going on with this guy. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Cooperate with me, dude. You're embarrassing me in front of my fans. Sorry about that. I don't know why I said that. I just trying to be funny. But yeah, that was pretty weird, but at least I fixed it. But yeah, and as I was saying, the LED in the pumpkin does not light up, and neither does and they don't light up very well, both. He does not light up very well at all. I'll tell you that much. I'll turn off the lights real quick, and I'll show you how he looks. I'm on my staircase right now, so... Wait. Yeah. Actually, you can kind of see him, but... You can actually kind of see him from where I'm standing, but... That's pretty good. That's what he looks like in the dark. You can kind of see him, but... You can kind of see him from where I'm standing. Gosh, I cannot talk today. You can see him in the dark from the camera, from my view, okay, you know what? You win. I'm not even gonna bother. Whatever. I don't know what's going on with this guy, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, anyways, as I was saying, you can see him in the dark. You can see him in the dark from the camera, but from where I'm standing in person, if you're here with me in person, you'll see that he doesn't light up very well. But the camera can really get an angle of it, and it really projects onto this. The LEDs really project onto this camera very much. I don't know why, but yeah, other than that, there's not much else to say about this guy, except that he is one of the very first inflatables that I've ever owned, and that he's 8 years old, and that's probably the reason why he's doing this, because he's getting all worn out. But at least I found the solution that you have to tug on him, so thankfully he's not completely dead, but he's getting there, so yeah, I thought I'd make a review on this guy just because he's one of the first ever inflatables I've ever owned, and that he's really special. He will always hold a very good place in my heart, so yeah. But other than that, there's nothing much else to say about this guy, except that I do not like how he did this to me automatically out of nowhere, and I'm going to try to have to fix that if I can. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you found this review enjoyable or likable, then please consider subscribing down below. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out a lot. And thank you all, like I said in my recent video, thank you for all the support you've given me on YouTube over the past few months, a couple months, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.